What's up, guys? Welcome to Making Comics with Marsh and Chris, episode 4. We are a day late than we normally go live. We do apologize. Had a few personal matters that we needed to take care of, but we're back. It hasn't stopped us from creating amazing comics and artwork, and we're here to check in and talk about it. My name's Chris. You know me. You're on my channel, and here I have Marshall Lee, the man behind Donkey Jaw Projects.
Yes, sir. Yeah, donkeyjawprojects.com. And, my link will be in the descriptions.
How have you been, man? How has your week gone?
It's been all right. It's been kind of busy. This in the next couple weeks are going to be pretty busy too. But yeah, it's been okay. We didn't do the video yesterday. We were all set. We were kind of going to, but I kind of had a bit of an emergency yesterday. Unfortunately, my cat died. So, and it happened like right around the time we were supposed to record. Well, sort of, but I had to bring it to like the emergency vet, and it kind of passed away on the way to the vet. So that was sad and stuff, but we got to keep moving,
That's it, man. Yeah, and I was surprised when you were like, "Yeah, no, let's do this week. Let's knock it out." So, I appreciate you striving through, man, and hopefully,
well, I mean, I find when things get tough, I actually like to keep moving forward with art and projects because it helps me to not think about the tough stuff. It's kind of therapeutic. So,
Yeah, I'm kind of the same. Like, I like to keep busy even in like stressful times, and when things just get sort of too much, I like to just overdo it with artwork and things like that, just to I feel it's like a sense of control. I have control over artwork, so it makes me feel a little bit more comfortable in my situation. So I imagine maybe that's sort of a similar thing for you.
Oh yeah, that's actually a good point. Like when things feel like out of control, it's like at least I can make progress with this.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's sort of a good move too. I know some people say like you just need to stop and take the moment in, but I think it doesn't really work for everyone. So at least you know what works for you, man. I mean, this is
I will be honest, like it does it hit harder than I even would have thought. And there's a part of me that just wants to like not do anything for the next couple weeks, and I don't care about art, but I'm gonna push through. So
yeah, yeah. And that's it. Like, and if you find that it isn't helping, I mean, you can always pull back a little bit as well. So,
yeah.
No, I remember I was in a similar situation a couple of years ago, and yeah, I pretty much did the same thing, and just sort of hammered through it and just kept busy and tried not to think about it. But yeah, anyway, I hope all is well at home, and everyone's doing all right. Because yeah, it's not fun, man. Yeah, pets are family. It's pretty rough. So
Yeah, thanks.
let's
Also, just one other little quick note I forgot to mention before we started this too was last week, and I don't know if this is happening now or not. I can't really tell, but last week apparently the video was only on you the whole time. And
yeah, I read that comment. Yeah. So I'm assuming when you are in a hangout, so that's for anyone watching who does these things, if you actually click on one of the, like I can do it now, if I actually click on your little picture within the Google Hangout, it will stay on your face for the entire time, even though I'm talking. So, yeah. So if you look, I don't think you can see it at the moment where there's a little white, your box is highlighted. So it'll only focus on you completely. So if I turn that off, it just jumps back to me, and then it'll just go based on audio. It'll jump back around again.
Yeah.
But yeah. Hopefully, I'm assuming that's what it was. I remember when I think Gaz commented on it.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, that's what it would have been. So yeah, technical difficulties.
Exactly.
All right, let's move on to lighter topics. Uh, how did you go with your goals last week? So obviously you had a bit of a rough week, or towards the end of the week, and that did your the beginning of your week go well? Did it? Do you feel
Well,
like you managed to get
technically,
goals done, or?
well, technically, I'm counting. Even though we're doing this today, I'm counting yesterday as the first day of this week.
Oh, okay.
Um, so I'm literally going from Monday to Sunday, like, and I think it makes sense because that way, like, we'll run into this issue if we're going late. It's like, okay, now do we have a short week? So I'm not even going to talk about what happened yesterday. I'll talk about from last Monday to Sunday.
I appreciate
And
your
just
honesty, man. I was going to use it as like a sneaky extra day.
yeah. Well, for me, it messes me up because that means this week is short, and I'm not going to be able to hit the goals the same. You know what I mean? So,
True that. Yeah, true that.
but yeah, I mean, feel free to do it however you need to do it. Um, I think the other people seem to be doing it like you were just saying, like, oh, well, this is going to be a short week. So, anyways, what happened last week? My goals were, um, I'll just go through the list. One was to order the prints for the Attack of the Lizard Brain cover, which I did do, and I should be getting my proof tomorrow in the mail, and then I'll have the prints on the way after that, as long as everything looked good with the proof. Hopefully, fingers crossed it is, because I really don't want to go through any more stuff with this cover. And the biggest reason is because I did all of the work on my laptop, and my laptop is super slow, and I'm just done with messing with Photoshop on that laptop. So, that being said, the next thing was to get my Moby Dick, like the beginnings of my Moby Dick commission sketch kind of set, so I could show the client like where I'm headed with it. And I did. I feel like I kind of I wanted to have done more to show him, but I did what I did, and he gets the gist of it. This client is like, it seems like he's going to be happy no matter what I give him anyways, so I'm not too worried about it. But I did want to get more progress with that. I didn't get as much progress as I wanted, but I did what I was supposed to do. So
Yeah. Kind of frustrating with
um
a client like that too, who is just super chill and pretty much accepts whatever you send through. And it's like, well, it'd be nice to have that critique or sort of that pushback to go, no, I kind of wanted this, and or this isn't quite the mark that I was wanting to hit. And you can sort of go back and refine it a little bit. Like I enjoy that process a little bit more. Like
yeah.
as nice as it is to know that they're happy with it, it's kind of nice to be able to go back, rework it, and revisit the piece and see things that you maybe didn't see in that first round.
Yeah, it could be kind of frustrating, especially if it's more of a I don't know, like a detail. I don't know if there's more to the project. This one's a pretty simple commission. It's not like an illustration job. It's more like a commission. Um,
Okay.
so I don't know. It's not so bad in this situation. I kind of like it. But I have had issues before where it's like I need more feedback, and that's not really the case here, but sometimes it is. So I definitely get what you mean. Um, my other goal was to do 8 hours instead of 7, and that goal I didn't do. I did do the minimum. I did a lot more than the minimum. The minimum is 3.5 hours. That means I get a half an hour every day for 7 days.
Yep.
Um, so that's the minimum. I did what I ended up doing was almost 6 hours. So I did get very much past the minimum, and so that's good. Um, but just I have a lot going on. So plus also I was struggling. Like even the 6 hours I did, I feel like I don't know. I'm still figuring out how to write this thing, and it's been kind of a beast and a little bit frustrating trying to figure it out. So I don't know. I still haven't gotten to the place where I feel like I'm making real progress. Some days I feel like I'm like it's like I am technically making progress, but I'm like, geez, like is this really moving this forward or not? Like it's been kind of frustrating to be honest, but I've been pushing on it every day. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's good, man. Like that
Everything
can make it
going
really
well.
hard to keep that motivation too when you feel like there's no like when you're just constantly pushing uphill.
Yeah, yeah,
So it's awesome that you're able to sort of keep that momentum and just persevere with it rather than just sidestep it or move on to something else. That's because
yeah, yeah. And there's one thing that I was hearing some people talk about before, and one thing I want to say is like I think it's really cool that like we're doing this weekly hangout, but like also back and forth between channels, we keep kind of commenting on things that the other channels are saying, like Josh and I'm so tired. I'm still tired.
well,
Josh and Corey, and Mike and Gaz, and it's like some on their videos they'll like comment on stuff we say, and we'll comment on there. So it's like even though we're only doing this me and you, it's like we're still having the commentary back and
there's
forth a
still
little
a
bit.
giant group conversation happening. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I actually
Yeah.
have managed to keep up a little bit with the guys now. So like
Hmm.
last week we were talking about Corey and Josh, and I hadn't watched any of theirs in a while, so I'm like really behind on like where their progress is, and I
Mm,
managed to catch up with them. And this is a little bit harder too because they post like every 2 days and they go for a
yeah.
while too. So whereas Gaz and Mike, it's a little bit easy because it's just one a week. But yeah, I noticed
Yeah.
it's really cool. We're sort of having these interconnected conversations. Um,
Mm,
where it kind of is. It's almost like with the 100 days, it was always a similar thing as well, where you were sort of conversing in between people, and sort of talking about what the progress one person's made, and how that relates to you, or how someone's inspired you to do a different writing style. Because you're at a very similar stage. So it's
yeah.
cool. It's like building like of reconnecting the community that already existed.
Hmm.
Yeah,
For sure. And so one thing I was thinking about with all that was they some of them had mentioned that like with this goal it's like I think Corey was talking about like you know it's good for them that like they really like the fact that they're doing the 48 hours as opposed to doing the weekly update because he felt like he has a hard time being disciplined in the way that like if he were doing it a week he would procrastinate and then he
yeah,
might procrastinate and then do all the work like the day before and stuff, which I totally get because I've been like that before and I am like that with certain things sometimes. I will say that because of the 100 days, I've been on a pretty good work on my comics every day for a while now. And plus, also, I have a personal goal of doing 100 or 365 days of making comics, making up one day each week if I want to. Even though for the most part I haven't missed days, um, but I just want to work on my projects every day. Um, and I'm not saying that Corey or anybody else doesn't, um, but like because I've gotten into that habit when I don't do it, and I've been in that habit for so long that I'm working on at least a half an hour every day, that I feel weird when I don't do it. Like it's almost easier to do it than to not do it now
yeah,
because something's like wrong in my day. Like I haven't done, I don't know. It's just weird to not do it
yeah.
now.
It was really
If that,
interesting listening to Gaz and Mike talk about this exact thing where they were talking about how like we sort of mentioned how they have more time, and then they sort of broke it down with them, and they're like, well, really, like, they've got the day to, they've got the full day at home, but that doesn't mean they don't have other responsibilities. And it actually reminded me of when I was working as a part-time freelance illustrator compared to now where I'm working full-time as a graphic designer in a studio. Now I'm more dedicated to making sure that I put the time in every day for an hour or an hour and a half, making sure that I actually get something done. But when I was in a similar position as Mike and Gaz, and I'd completely really forgotten about it, that I would always have errands to do. So if I was home during the day, that would be the cue for my wife to say, okay, well, can you go and do the groceries and go get dinner? Just make sure, can you just put the washing on and clean up? And, those things all sort of accumulate in time. And then by the time I actually sit down in my studio to get things done, it was only like a few hours of time. And then there would be things, was like, I'm going to do a YouTube video. And even though that is working, like, that would take time out of actual drawing time. And when I actually break it down, the amount of drawing I got done in comparison to the amount of time I actually theoretically had each day, never correlated.
Yeah.
But working in a full-time position now, I feel like I work way harder now because I'm so time poor. So I force myself to make the time, and when I'm using that time, I'm not wasting it in any way.
Yeah.
Whereas it was easy to waste it because I know, like, oh, well, I'm going to be home tomorrow, so if I don't finish it today, I can just finish it tomorrow. I'll have plenty of time to do it. I don't have that luxury anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I could totally relate too. And I don't mean to say, I hope any people don't think this, but I don't mean to say, oh, well, you have all this time, why, you should be getting a lot done or anything like that. I can totally actually relate too, even though I haven't quite been in the position you guys have been in. Because there have been times that I've had a week off and I'm like, I'm going to get so much done this week. It's going to be awesome. And I get like less done than if I had been working. And it's ridiculous. And I do so much procrastinating and stuff. And even on my weekends, sometimes I'm like that, it's like I have so much time, I'm going to do so much. And then it takes me like all day just to get to the doing work, and it's like, what?
That's why I like the early morning situation, getting up an hour or two before work and getting the work done, because there's no opportunity to be distracted by anything else. I can't run down to the shops because they're closed. My family's asleep, so they can't distract me. And no one's on the internet to, bother even looking on Facebook to see what's going on because they're all asleep. So it's kind of the best time to be productive.
Yeah. Awesome. So, my last goal for this week was to read some more comics, because you tagged that at the end of your thing. And I was like, yeah, you know what? I'll do that too. So I did read some of Bone, like, I don't know, a few pages. I don't remember how much. I finished the chapter. I know that. So yeah, I got that in as well. How about you? How did your week go?
I'm going to switch back and sort of drawing and talking at the same time. I had a really weird week. So first, I'll just outline what my week was meant to be, and then we're going to talk about what I actually did. Pretty much my whole week, I wanted to finish this children's book that I've been working on and just get it done and out of the way, which ideally felt like a really achievable goal, but also a part of me was dubious that it would happen, but I was pretty determined that I was going to get it done. At the same time, on the Monday last week before we did our show, I'd been talking to a friend, and I was intending to go around his place on Tuesday night. He's also an artist, and we were talking about doing some collaboration work. And he's been doing t-shirt designs for a skate company, and he has no idea about how to digitize anything. So how to scan it, how to do digital cleanups, how to get it print ready and yeah, to send to the printers. So I'm like, look, I know all this. I can help you out. It's going to be like, he's going to pay me for my time. I'm like, well, I'd be silly not to do it. One, it's sort of boosting my portfolio in a little bit. I'm creating a connection. I'm learning from him because he's a fantastic artist, and put money in my pocket. So that happened. I went and had a meeting with him, and that shot my entire Tuesday out. Then Wednesday happened. I did nothing again because I had dinner with my in-laws. Normally I'd get up really early, but I don't know what was going on, but I was so tired that I just couldn't get up the extra hour that I needed in the morning to get any work done. So by the time Thursday had come, I'd done nothing. And I'm like, okay, this is not a good situation. I'm not going to meet the goals that I wanted to. So I tried to push myself as hard as I could in the evenings. Like, as far as the mornings went, they were just pretty much a write-off. I didn't get up early. I just tried to get as much work as I could do in the evenings. So in regards to what I actually did between Thursday night and Monday, I managed to finish penciling the 2 pages that I needed to pencil, and got both of those approved, which was great. And then I inked all 5 pages. So I didn't get to any of the colors, which I originally intended to do. But looking into this week, I now have the rest of this week to just focus on those 7 pages and get them done. Next to that, I did do the artwork for my friend. I can show you some of the artwork too, which is just pretty awesome. So what I ended up having to do, he used to be a tattooist and now he's moved on into just doing more traditional, just illustration stuff. Like, this is the sort of work that he does. I like that one there. So like, that's sort of like 11 by 17 size, so it's quite large. So I've been having to scan those in, clean them up, which has taken a couple of hours to do, and I've also got to color a couple of them as well. So they took up a bit of my time, so they kind of pushed out my other goals. But like, I wasn't not working. It was just a weird mishmash of things sort of got in the way. And then Sunday, I did want to get a whole ton of stuff done, but then had sort of an impromptu. My family were coming around for lunch, and I've been getting into smoking meats and stuff lately, so they wanted me to smoke some meat. So that's a really lengthy process, which requires sort of my time every hour to focus on the food. So I got little chunks done in between cooking, but not enough to really be worthwhile. So yeah, and by the end of that, I was just exhausted. Like, I just crashed on Sunday night, and yeah. So
about reading comics?
No, didn't happen. No, I wanted to, but it did not happen. I did, however, thanks to my mate, pick up a book, and I'm going to show it off because I'm really excited. I can't wait to get into it. So this is going to come into next week, which I'm going to definitely read some. I don't know. Are you a fan of Crumb, Robert Crumb?
Yeah.
Yeah. He had this book which was published in like 1997, and it's the Robert Crumb Coffee Table Art Book. Nice. This thing is like huge, and it's just filled with like so much beautiful artwork. And he was really kind enough to lend this to me, so I'm probably going to dive into this during the week and just absorb as much as I possibly can. And I'll talk about what my goals are, and some of those goals are going to tie into this book this week as well. But yes, very excited to like, it's huge, man. It's bigger than my head. So yeah, I'm really stoked. Like, this guy's a really nice guy, and if you guys want to check him out too, anyone who's watching, you can peep him on Instagram at Creeptooth Studios. So little plug there for him, and I'll be doing some work for him down the line as well, which is going to be exciting.
Oh yeah. Now, speaking about plugs too, just so you know, we mentioned the other guys who were doing this challenge before, and we're gonna it's not in there just yet, but we're gonna put the links from now on. In fact, I'm gonna go back to my old videos too, and put the links to their channels, because I really want you I really hope you guys check out their channels and their challenges that they're doing as well, because it's pretty awesome. And they're the ones who started it for us. So,
Yeah.
so why don't you roll into your goals for the week, and then I'll hit mine.
Yeah, cool. I'll keep it quick because I know you've only got about 10, 15 minutes left. My first one is finishing the children's book, finished the pencils, finished the inks last week. So this week I intend to do the colors on those. I intend to have all 7 pages, hopefully flattered. I'm going to be realistic. I want to flat all 7 pages. So that should be doable. Rendering is going to take a little bit more time, so I can probably push that into next week. I feel like every week I realize what my limits are, and I always push things back a little bit more.
Yeah.
So I'll flat the pages. What I also intend to do, you guys would have just seen that I was working on page 19 of Monkey Junk just before. I started that this morning. I intend to finish page 19 of that as well.
Okay.
So by that, I mean finish the inks and also the grey tones.
Yeah, and that's a beast of a page, so that's a lot.
Yeah, it's going to be a nightmare too. I'll bring it up on the screen too if people didn't catch it before, because I've been kind of avoiding this page a little bit because it's so full on. It's like a giant cityscape. That's the full page there. So
it's going to look awesome though.
Yeah, I'm going to be hopefully really happy with it once it's all finished. But for now, I'm super nervous.
You could tell it's a really cool impact because obviously they're like entering this crazy city and like he's seeing it, and that's really cool.
That was sort of the point. Like I wanted the reader to feel that sort of overwhelming excitement of this new world in the same way that he is. I really wanted to put people into his mind for that shot. So hopefully that does sort of invoke that a little bit.
Yeah. I'm already seeing it in the rough, so I think it'll work.
Oh, nice. Thank you. So I've got to flat those. I've got to finish page 19. Next to that, what I want to do is, like, now that I've got that crumb book, firstly, I want to read some comics, which is sort of goes without saying, and I really hope that I can do that this week. I think I should really just put aside a dedicated time, like a day and time that I do that. But next to that, I want to do some studies from the book. So I want to just look at different things. I don't know exactly what studies, maybe some inking studies, like learn how he does cross-hatching or learn how he does body form and things like that. But just do some studies from the book, whatever they sort of happen to be as I'm reading it, and sort of gauge an interest in. I've always liked Crumb's inking style. It's really nice. It's a style that I've played with before, but I'd really like to adapt it further into my own style. Yeah. So I think that'll do it for me. So flatting those 7 pages, finish 1 page of Monkey Junk, read a comic and do some studies of said comic. Yeah, I think that'll do it for me this week. As I'm going to do a little bonus round for me and try and do some pencils on that concept piece that I was doing the other week. Because I really want to get back to that. I don't want to, if I stop working on it, I'll lose interest very quickly, and I don't want to do that.
Oh, yeah, I know how that goes.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. How about you, man? What's on your agenda? You said you're going to be pretty busy, so I'm curious.
Yeah, it's weird because, like, for the first time this week, I actually started writing out my goals like early this week or last week for this week. Wow. I guess I got excited or something. I don't know what happened, but I kind of added last week some goals. I kind of added like midway through the week, and one of them was to start doing Instagram stories and do that every day a little bit, and I was doing pretty good with it. And then I realized that the IGTV thing came about, so I was messing with that too. And I'll be honest, that ended up, well, it wasn't so much a distraction. It actually made me like work on more stuff, I think. And I also ended up doing two drawings for my nephew for his birthday. So that was kind of added on to what I did last week. But I don't know. It's weird because IGTV came out, and now it's like, okay, now which one do I do? Do I do both? What like, I
Yeah,
don't know. Like, what's
I
more
mean,
effective? Like, I don't know. So,
Corey was
what?
talking about that too, and he had a similar mindset that I did. Not that I've done much with it, but I like the
Mhm,
concept of getting onto IGTV early and creating content in
mhm,
there before it gets big, because they were
yeah,
talking about how this could potentially be the next big contender for um, YouTube, like to go against
yeah,
YouTube. So it's kind of exciting, but it's a lot of extra effort when I'm putting a lot of
yeah.
effort into other social media.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a very different thing with the vertical format and the limit to 10 minutes of video,
Mm.
unless you have a bigger account and you get 60 minutes.
It could be a way to
Um,
do like vlogs and stuff like that.
yeah, yeah. But then I don't know. Like it's like the thing is do you do stories or do you do that or do you do both? Like it's just weird,
Yeah,
like that they have two video things.
yeah. I think for me
Sometimes
personally,
I
like
wonder
I
if they're
like
trying to do
stories.
too much.
Yeah, so stories are good. Stories are quick. You can just sort of flick through them. Whereas IGTV, like it's like YouTube. You sort of have to dedicate yourself the time. And I don't really like
Mm,
watching YouTube on my phone as it is, so I can't see myself wanting to watch, yeah,
yeah,
Instagram videos for long lengths of time.
yeah.
But that's just me. So
Yep. So we'll figure that out.
yeah, I look forward to following your journey on that and sort of seeing what kind of experiences you have with it. It'd be cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Um, so another thing I was kind of tacking on was 5 minutes at least in my sketchbook every day, just drawing something, sketching. Because when I'm working on the comics, um, you know, right now I'm doing a lot of writing, and it's like I want to draw too.
Yeah,
So there's that. But I don't know, like now this next couple weeks are going to be tough to like add all these extra things on because I have a really important family stuff to be dealing with this week, and I don't, they come that comes always comes first. So
yes,
we'll see what happens. But I'm gonna put a loose goal of 5 minutes at least in my sketchbook. We'll see
yeah.
if that
Okay.
happens. I'm not gonna be super strict about that one. Again, reading comics a little bit. I'm not gonna be super strict, but that's part of the goal. There's one that I wrote down that I'm not gonna say because I don't think I'm gonna get to that, but um, yeah, I'll talk about that one another time.
Yeah,
Um, I wrote down 8 hours of comics. And one thing that I wanted to note too is, you know, the time I put in doing comics every week, that doesn't mean I actually work more on comics than that a little bit but I don't always log in my time. But also, that doesn't that only counts comics. That doesn't count me working on other stuff too. So I actually get more hours in than it seems like because I only log in my time for my comics. But I'm changing my 8 hours of comics this week to the bare minimum, 3.5 hours.
yeah.
Um, because it might be a challenge just to even do that this week. It's just that kind of week. And
Very,
next week might be the same as well. Um, and another loose goal is Instagram stories. Mess with that once a day at least. Again, it's if I don't make it, it's not that big a deal.
yeah,
Especially for this next 2 weeks.
yeah. I think Instagram stories too. You can probably make that to just work around whatever it is you're doing on that day anyway. So even if you're just reading comics, like your story can be about that. It doesn't have to be specifically what you've drawn or what you've written. Like I find
Yeah,
people engage really well with getting a bit more personal with you. So even if it's just like, hey, this is my favorite comic that I'm reading at the moment, like people the fact that you're posting every day, regardless of whether it's your art or just the things you're into, like hopefully that makes it a bit easier as well, rather than trying to find
Yeah.
like a new picture, a piece of art or something in your sketchbook or whatever.
It's a good point. I do like the idea that like your Instagram proper is like that's for like your finished pieces and like to show off your art and stuff. And then like the stories is kind of like the behind the scenes stuff. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah, that's kind of how
pretty
I look
cool.
at it. Like your Instagram page is kind of like your folio. Yeah, and
Mhm.
then your stories are, it's just your day to day. It's, this is what I'm up to and this is what I'm doing, and um, it's not there as a permanent representation of you. It's just there for the people who really like to follow what you're doing and engage with you further.
Absolutely.
Yeah, good luck with it, man.
Um,
I'm really looking forward to seeing how you play around with that because I'm always interested in social media and what effects it can have, and like if you do the stories every day, how that's going to affect page growth and interaction, comments, and whatnot. So
it's interesting. Another observation related to what you're saying there, and I don't think it's because of the stories. It's actually just because I've been posting more art in general.
yep,
Um, I've been getting a lot of inquiries about, well, I say a lot, for me, it's like three, but like inquiries on like people wanting to hire me to do illustrations or commissions and stuff. So I
that's
have a
awesome.
few of those things floating around too that I've been, working on it. And one person, they said they want me to do a logo, and they said that I quoted them a price and they're cool with it. So but I
Nice.
don't know if that's going to actually happen or not. They haven't sent the money yet, so I can't work on it until they send some of the money. So,
Yeah,
um,
and
so
that'll
we'll
be
see.
a little road bump into your work week as well.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So we'll see about that. But he said he doesn't have a time frame, so at least
Oh,
there's that. Um, Also, and then another one is actually a children's book, a vegan children's book, which is pretty cool because it's something I'm interested in anyways. So we'll see what happens with that. It's a both of these are good friends. Well, they're friends from like high school and stuff. So we'll see what happens. But this person said they already have like a contract. That they signed with a publisher, so they're gonna like work it out, and I'll hear back probably this week or something from them. But
nice. That'll be
that
fantastic.
that should be interesting. I don't know what to quote them though. I'm gonna probably have to talk behind the scenes with you to maybe get a better idea. But
Yeah,
yeah.
sure, man.
So yeah, that's kind of an interesting development that's been happening.
Nice. Good luck with that. I hope that does come to fruition. That'd be sick.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Did you want to wrap it up now? Because I know you are probably running out of time.
Yeah, yeah, it's about that time. As I would love to talk longer, but yeah.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Sorry, I feel like I could have talked more and more and more, but I felt like I was been holding back a little bit because I didn't want to push it too far for you because you've obviously got to go to work and
Well, I mean, if you have some final like observations or something, I'd love to hear it. That's no problem. I have a few minutes.
now I feel like I've been put on the spot.
Well, that's okay. That's fine. Either way.
No, I now feel like an idiot and have nothing to say. So,
Sorry about that. No. I think that if we let the conversation go back and forth, those kind of things would come out naturally anyways. It is always that funny thing. It's like, oh well, okay, you get in that funny
yeah,
situation. But
yeah,
yeah, no problem at all.
yeah. Next time I'll make sure I've got a script here just in case, and you put me on the spot. I'll have some prompts. So, like, okay, this is what I'm going to talk about now.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to wrap it up first just by saying, for those of you who watched this for the first time, please, we mentioned them before. This series that me and Marsh are doing, have been heavily inspired by Corey Kerr and Joshua Campbell, who do the 48-hour check-in, as well as Mike Emmerich and Gazbot Gretzky, who also do a weekly check-in very similar to the one that we do here. They've encouraged us to want to do this challenge and hold ourselves accountable online to do it, to continue creating art away from the 100 Days of Making Comics challenge that we've all recently completed. Except for Marsh, who's doing 365 days because he is an absolute loon bin and is crazy. I don't know who can do that. That's ridiculous. Please, I'm going to throw links to all of those guys that I just mentioned down below in the description. Please check them out and check out their thingamadoodles, their YouTube channels. That's the one. Otherwise, Marshall Lee, where can people find you on the interwebs?
As always, donkeyjawprojects.com. You go to the first page there. All my social media links are right there, right up front. And you can go to my channel also and subscribe, which is linked below. That's it.
Below in these descriptions down here, next to the subscribe link, which subscribes to my channel, which if you subscribe to, every second week you will get access to this video as well as all the other junk videos that I post. I will be posting a vlog soon. That was probably one of the challenges I should have put up, but I've been trying to vlog. I'm failing to vlog, but you'll see it really soon. It's a really dumb vlog, but you'll probably watch it and be like, Chris is a dummy. I'm not watching this. And then you watch the next one and be like, you suckers, you suckers. You guys can find me at my channel. You're on my channel. Otherwise, you can find me at chrismcquinlan.com. All of my links are there to my online store and my social medias. I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you guys for watching this week's version edition episode of Making Comics with Marsh and Chris. I'm Chris. The guy that I'm pointing to there is Marsh. That's his little avatar. Thank you for joining me this week, dude, and congratulations on continuing making awesome comics.
You too, sir.
We will catch you all next week. Have a good one.